10 jobs technology would take over. With the rise of artificial intelligence, many of us non-androids have become fearful of massive job displacement. And for good reason. No longer qualified human candidate your only competition for the full-time job sack, you instead are competing against ever-growing power of technology. We know that AI already passed many of our favorite websites and apps. And that's, in the not-too-distant future. AI will be operating our cars, managing our work portfolios, and manufacturing the things you buy. About 50% of our jobs will in fact be taken over by AI in automation within the next 15 years. As research suggests, the pace in which AI will replace jobs will only accelerate, impacting the highly trained and poorly educated alike. For companies looking to save money, the idea of being able to replace a human with computer and robot is enticing. A robot can work 24/7 with little to pay or benefits, and it's often faster than a human with fewer errors. Robots can also be helpful to employees, as they can easily do jobs that are repetitive, monotonous, or dangerous, and leave interesting jobs for humans. Over the last few years, robots and computers have made tremendous leaps in the performance and capabilities, and have replaced more human jobs. In today's video, we talk about 10 jobs that will replaced, and are being replaced or assisted by robots and computers' artificial intelligence. So let's start the video. Manufacturing workers. Robots controlled by computers are replacing jobs that involved packing or moving of goods. An example is the Amazon robots that move all products to people who packaged and mail the product to customers. This robot of Amazon and its employees get packages shipped out faster than their competition. However, at the same time, these robots have replaced jobs of workers who previously handled this job. Other companies are also using autonomous forklifts to move load and offload goods. Factories have been automated, and many other manufacturing jobs have been relocated to countries where labor is cheaper. Cashiers. This is pretty obvious by now. If you take a look at most grocery stores and fast food chains right now, they already have kiosks where you can simply self-checkout. Amazon has introduced a new venture called Amazon Go that you probably already seen. You get into a store, pick whatever you want. Meanwhile, the cameras in the store track your picks, and once you get out of the store, the sum automatically will be charged in your account. Congrats, you did the groceries without dealing with a single person, especially cashiers. You did not even have to take out your credit card. No more long queues. It's exactly what we need now, since social distancing is the new norm. Amazon has dubbed this "just walk out" technology. Though this is available in just a few cities by now, we can expect this will be available in all over the world very soon. Currently, there are over 8 million people in America who work as cashiers. We can expect this number to be almost zero within the next decade, as more and more people opt for the new North Line system. Accountants. Robots are getting better and better every day at doing regular things, like analyzing financial statements, auditing, or bookkeeping. These also happen to be the tasks of irregular accountants. Robots would bring more value to a company, because they wouldn't make human errors and will provide accurate information while paying taxes. They will also help clients make better financial decisions. Many companies and people have already started using automated accounting softwares. It eventually comes down to choosing between whether one would like to pay less for the software, and do the taxes himself and pay a substantial higher amount to go and consult an accountant. It's safe to say that by the year 2040, the accounting profession will become obsolete. Printing operators. Do you buy newspapers and magazines every other day, or do you prefer getting your news entertainment online? I bet you said no to the first question and yes to the latter. The truth is, this industry is dying fast. Millennials in Generation Z, who form a large percentage of the population and consumers in the economy, hardly ever spend a dime on print media. Print press operators have been facing a significant decline in revenue over the last decade. Many of these businesses have pivoted to providing online services, where people subscribe to get newsletters, newspapers, and magazines. Inevitably, this industry will surely disappear in the next decades. Call center agents. Call centers are important, and it's important that a real human replies to you, and not a robot, because no one likes talking to a robot who can't even understand your question. But they aren't cheap to operate. That's why Most call centers have been shifting to developing countries like India, since it has a huge number of English speakers, but at the same time, the cost of labor is significantly lower. However, as these countries grow their economies, salaries are growing respectively. So businesses are investing heavily to automate these kind of tasks. If you have called the call center and was amazed by how fast the agent found a solution to your problem or an answer to your question, don't be surprised by that lady on the phone, who knows everything. While you all ask your question, the robot picks up keywords and finds a few potential solutions the call center agent will get on the screen. All she does is that, pick the right request and read the answer to your problem. Yeah, that's how it's done. Robots can also do that, but not in such a speed and accuracy that humans can do, but with a little bit more improvements, the job of call centers will be obsolete. Farmers. Once upon a time, not that long ago, over 95% of the population were farmers. But that number has been decreasing year after year to the point where only 1.3% of the US population are farmers. It's a dying occupation. For the last 2 centuries we have came up with technologies to make it much easier, and now we are at that point where only 1% of the population can feed the entire country, but that's going to change soon. Vertical farming is going to cause another revolution. This technology is taking it to a whole different level. As the world's population is growing to over 8 billion people, we need a technology to feed that much people. The problem with farming today is that, it takes a lot of land and unbelievable amounts of fresh water. It's just extremely inefficient, and that's where the vertical farming comes into the picture. It produces food on vertically inclined surfaces, which means it's going to use a lot less land. With careful lighting and watering, it's just a much more efficient method to produce food. But, your typical farmer can just operate a warehouse that vertically produces so much food. Such a warehouse would require scientists, engineers, software developers, which means traditional farmers will either have to adapt or lose their jobs. Vertical farming is not from a sci-fi movie, it is a reality that's already happening. It's just a matter of time before it gets used widely. Textile workers. The number of textile workers has for the past 5 years been dwindling at an alarming rate. First, because of cheap imports from China and other Asian countries, which has caused many textile factories in the US and many first world countries to close down. And secondly, the automation of factories. Currently factories are semi-automated, but they will soon be fully automated. Low wage rates and unfavorable working conditions are another factor. Soon, textile factories will only require highly skilled specialist operators. Pilots. Last time you took a flight, chances that the plane was flying itself were relatively high. Most planes today come with autopilot, which makes the task of the pilot significantly easier. With the development of AI, as with cars and trucks, planes will be able to fly by themselves. From the moment you board that plane, till it lands without the pilot's help. If you think these are fantasies, then you must know that we are living in unusual times. Just think about how different the world was just 10 years ago. The chairman of the International Pilot Training Association, Tilman Gabriel, said that the future pilots would be sitting in an office flying and managing the aircraft from the ground like the drone pilots already do. In fact, drones are already playing a massive role in the military and are used in complex combat operations, thousands of miles away from where the pilots is located. Many airlines have already reduced the pilot crew per plane from 3 to 2. It's just a matter of another few years before that number decreases to 1. Even the CEO of Boeing, James Albaugh, stated that a pilotless airline is inevitable, it's just a matter of time. Construction workers. There are approximately 200 million construction workers in the world. As farmers, their job is in many ways repetitive, which means it's subject to automation. Even though developing countries are increasing construction projects all over the world, it's not necessarily a good sign for the workers. Construction requires humans to do dangerous tasks, and people often get hurt in the construction site. With the development of new and affordable robots, companies will not have to worry about that in the future. Look at Sam, the bricklayer. He's a robot who can successfully place 3,000 bricks per day without losing breath, while an average human can only do 1,000 before they get tired. And since construction consists of primarily repetitive tasks, we can expect AI to take over most of the work very soon. Construction seems like a complex job that's difficult to automate. It consists of so many parts that need to be taken care, but any complex task is nothing but a combination of multiple simple tasks, which is what construction is all about. With the self-driving trucks, drones, robots that can carry stuff all around, many construction jobs could be replaced by robots, especially the dangerous jobs where humans might have to risk. That's a big win for corporations. No wonder they're spending billions on developing this tech as soon as possible. Construction isn't going to be completely automated from the top to the bottom in the foreseeable future. However, many construction jobs are on the brink of extinction, with automation making a big part of that. Drivers. We already have vehicles that come with fully autonomous driving options. That means the car can drive itself. Consumers, however, can't use this feature fully, because the governments are yet to legalize it. Self-driving cars have attained a safety rate of 98%. This means that there is still a 2% chance that the car ends up in an accident. That's why governments haven't yet legalized it completely. But that could all change very soon, as large corporations are working tirelessly to improve the system. Self-driving vehicles are not limited to cars only. Companies like Tesla, Volvo, and Waymo are coming up with trucks that might drive themselves. Waymo specifically has already started a fleet of 600 self-driving taxis in Phoenix, Arizona. As cars are getting smarter, they will be able to communicate among themselves through software, which could finally end traffic jams and accidents. But at the same time, millions of drivers will have to look for a different kind of job, since cars will be driving themselves. 3.5 million truck drivers will lose jobs in America alone. More than 300,000 Uber and taxi drivers are going to be unemployed by then. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.